What's cracking?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, this is LeBron J, half of the TNJ, aka Steve Rogers. I could do this all day.
William A. Thomas here. I'm really the Black Panther today. Y'all can barely see me.
Okay. What's that part in that movie? I like. She'd be like, "Show them who you are." Man, speaking of Black Panther, man, that dude was a chump, man.
In the MCU.
In the MCU, yeah, absolutely. I was so excited, man. I thought he was gonna be like Black Power. I remember I was watching the cartoon, and I remember he was just beating down the Avengers for fun, like just for fun.
Right,
It was just,
right.
I was so excited. I'm like, he's that smart.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had him the doofus, man. He couldn't beat nobody. He couldn't catch the dude with the one arm. What's his name?
Claw.
Couldn't get Claw. He let the dude come to his hood and beat him up, throw him down the street. I'm like, man. And then when he couldn't get Bucky, I was like, oh man, come on, bro.
I never freeze.
Yeah, he wasn't a good leader in the movie, man. They did him wrong, but people still love it. You know, it's great.
And nothing on Chadwick. I think he was definitely a great actor, for it. But man, that portrayal.
Right. See, I feel like, I'm sorry, cut you off, but I feel like Tyrone Biggums right now, because from the last 12 years they've been doing really good with these movies, and I'm like, where's the movie out, man? I'm scratching out here, like I'm looking forward to what's the next movie? Strange. Doctor Strange.
Man,
it's
going down.
Now I'm a fan of the Batman thing. I'm just, when I get my big crib, I'm doing the whole floor room with Batman apparel, like everything. I want pool table with I said bat balls. That's what I was about to say. Can I say that?
Wow.
I can say that, but I want the whole mural on the wall of Gotham City. That's my dude. But I'm not really excited about this new movie.
Yeah, I think they got the dude that's off of Twilight. He was one of the vampires. Not really feeling it. I hope that the villains are good. That's the best that I can hope out of it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the topics real quick. What we talking about?
We gonna get into. We got Justin Trudeau. He called the Freedom Truckers terrorists. There was a woman supposedly cured of HIV. We got Sha'Carri back in the news. She said it ain't fair.
He called. She belongs to the streets.
Yeah. She don't belong to the streets. I just pressed the button by accident. Little people, I'm not talking about her. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, if we see a fist come across, like,
oh man, we get that hate comments. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Or your wife come and strangle you. Like, don't be talking about Sha'Carri. But
hey, when you hear that, Thor just jumped on my roof.
Oh man, but yeah. Kamila Valieva, I think that's how you said, she was allowed to compete after alleged performance. Well, not alleged. She failed a drug test with a performance enhancing drug. We had the Super Bowl halftime show. Hear what y'all think about that?
With your own failure. You could not live with your own failure.
Go ahead. Yeah, we live. Thanks for the super chat. Go.
New York to detain people exposed by COVID. And we got Hillary back in the news. Hillary Clinton, she got caught spying on the Trump campaign.
Who said that? Well, first off, who said that? Where's the source at? Was it Trump?
Their special counsel. No, the Merrick Garland. He had actually
who that is?
he's the U.S. Attorney General. But
is he Republican, Democrat, what?
Democrat. Joe Biden hired him.
Oh, okay. Now I can listen. Continue.
He hired a special counsel. I forgot his first name. Last name's Durham.
Okay.
This is one of the things that's uncovered. So it's really interesting to see this report.
She must know something on Biden. That's why they're trying to get rid of her, huh?
Oh man, they trying to Clinton. But for y'all simps out there, Valentine's Day. San Francisco school board, they got recalled. Seemed like in California, they always trying to recall something.
Yeah.
Unsatisfied.
What
you want to get into first?
Well, first let's I think we got a caller, so let's get the caller on and then we can chop it up.
All right, we got Tony in the queue. Let me just get him on there.
Tony, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, what's going on? Where you calling from?
Calling from Atlanta.
Okay. How's the weather up there, man?
It's all right.
It's nice, man. You got the sunroof open?
Yeah. For now.
Yeah. Did it snow up there this year?
Yeah, it did. Actually, it did. About like 3 weeks ago.
He's like, yeah.
It caught me off guard.
Man.
When I first went to Atlanta, man, I just knew that in my mind I didn't think it snowed, right? So I went out there. It was like 2010. It was so cold. I tried to order a pizza. I went out there like, oh heck no! I ran back in the house. I put my robe. I had a robe with no shirt on. I put the robe back on and ran back in the house.
Man,
think it because you're in the South, huh?
Yeah, man. I had the flip flops on. They wasn't Gucci, but I had flip flops on. Ashy ankles all the way up. Just thinking I could go out there. But anyway,
did they shut the city down, Tony?
No, not this time.
Okay,
man.
Nope, they kept it open.
That brings back another story. You probably know this, Tone. When I was up there and I had to get out of there, they was like basically they shut the city down, and people was getting stuck in the airport, and I begged them to get me on this flight, and they got me out. But I heard somebody I knew was in the airport for like 4 days stuck.
Yeah. You talk about the what year was that? That was what?
Like 2010.
Yeah. Might have been. I forget, but I remember that. That was when the ice storm came.
Yeah.
That was like 13 or something like that, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't then. It wasn't then, but it was definitely before, because I moved down there. It was before I moved down there, and I remember when I went on Facebook when I left, they had a bunch of memes about there was like going off on y'all, like y'all had 2 inches, like 2 specks of snow, y'all shut the, and people was crashing like, oh
man, it was bad. Like the highways were looking like parking lots. I mean, it was crazy. Yep.
Ooh-wee.
I remember that.
Wow.
So Tom, what you want to touch on? What you want to talk about?
I was calling in for the Sha'Carri.
Okay.
I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on y'all think it was fair or not. Because they caught Sha'Carri with, weed in her system. And I forget the Russian girl's name, the ice skater, but they got her with steroids and they didn't suspend her. Sha'Carri, she got suspended. I mean, she did the relay, but she couldn't do, her main events. So I just wanted to see y'all opinion. I mean, do y'all think that's fair or not? Because I think it's very biased. It's unfair. And, I know that people are saying that the players have the power in their hands, but, I know people want to win that gold, and they're not going to put that power in their hands unless there's a major shift in the Olympics, something that everybody has to be on board. But I just don't see that happening. But I just wanted to see what y'all opinion was.
You want to go first, Will?
Yeah, well, there's 2 aspects of it, maybe 3. One of them, we got to look at should Sha'Carri have been suspended in the first place? I think definitely yes. Now, her thing with the Olympics, it was based off of a timing thing, which is why she was able to go in the with the relay and not the 1 in 200. So based off of the timing, if that time may have been a little bit earlier, then she would have been able to compete. Now, as far as the Russian, I would side with, I think that whatever the American agency is, as well as probably the majority of the world, except for Russia and I guess it's called, what is it, the IOCOC or whatever, that commission. But their reasoning that they're saying is because she's a minor, and that, she may not have known, what it was for, and so on. But my opinion is that regardless of what, hey, you got to learn about the rules somewhere along the line. It's just like if you kill someone and you're 15 years of age, you can't, they rarely say this is a minor. And I know that this is apples and oranges. We're talking about two different levels. We're talking about one being a performance enhancing drug, but in both situations, at that point, it doesn't really matter if you're a minor. Plus, in the Olympics, everybody, let's admit, everybody's like 17 and 16, so we can't really use that excuse. So, do I think it's fair? Not at all. But
he didn't ask, was it fair? He said, was it racist?
He didn't say that. Did you say that, Tony?
We could throw that in there.
He meant that.
All of them thoughts.
He meant it. Go ahead.
I don't think it's a matter of racist as far as why they let the Russian compete.
Why do you think that?
I think it's bull crap, but the Russians, they've been cheating for years. They've been cheating since Rocky IV.
So you're telling me if this was Simone Biles or Dominique Doss and she was 16, that they would have let her perform?
If she is Russian, yeah. Because what I'm saying is it's more of a corruption thing. Like they have been doing this for years. This isn't new. Like their men's team, like they shouldn't even. I don't even think they're supposed to be technically competing in the Olympics. So that's why I'm wondering, like, how did they even get there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep going further. Do you think there's racism in Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking on you.
What I think is funny is that, both of these are, with the Winter Olympics.
We lost you. What'd you say? The winter.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's funny with the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics that this both happened in China. And then, China has a relationship with Russia.
Ooh,
so
I didn't even think of that.
Do you think that right there has something to play with it as well?
I didn't even think of that. Yo.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's a whole different curveball right there.
I didn't think about that. Wow.
Where Rocky at, man? We need that Rocky IV communist versus America. Wow. I did not think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's racist. I think if it was a African American girl doing the same thing, because I mean, obviously she what's her name? Richardson, she tried to play stupid too. She's like, I didn't know. They didn't let her go. You know what I'm saying? So I really believe that if it was a white woman or Russian, they was gonna let them go. That's just the way the things work. And like far as the call to action, I know Tony, you said that you don't think that would work, but with that, or when it comes to the kneeling situation, you're never going to have a united front when it comes to the consumer. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're being a consumer, we caring about our interests, and that's what the players doing. They're like, I worked, all my life for this. I'm not going to give it up for you. That's basically what goes on there. However, I think if they go on a united front as players and say we're not going to play, then because everybody, like I was talking about the Super Bowl, for instance, the Super Bowl, if they decided not to play, the African Americans on the team, right, and there are probably going to be some white people who want to join as well. There's so much money tied into these 4-year things, like the sponsorships. There was billions of dollars being sold, and that means if the NFL don't come on at 6:30 and do that show, they're going to get sued. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's going to lose money. So that's the main power. Like the players, I mean, like if the consumer would say, "All right, I'm boycotting it." We tried that. Most people stopped watching football. Stopped watching football for my own reasons, and most people did. It didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? It just brought symbolism back into the groove because they know African Americans like symbolism. But if the players, like if you have a LeBron James who basically created millions of dollars and billions of dollars for Cleveland, and these other people, they need them. But that's just my opinion. What you think, Will?
Well, but this is where I'm saying it's a little bit. It's always possible, but this is a little bit bigger than that. Like I don't know if you remember this back in 2014, the Russians, like they had a big doping scandal. They were supposed to be out for 3 Olympics. That includes this one.
Now, is this the winter or? Because I don't watch the Olympics.
I would assume that it would be, but they're supposed to be out right now because for 14, so it would be 18, 22, and whatever, but they shouldn't be there. And I think that what Tony brought up may have a lot to do with it. Somewhere along the line, that relationship, like this is becoming to where it's like world politics or something of the sort.
East
I'm not
versus
saying
West.
what was that?
East versus West, huh?
Yeah.
Western road.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist in the Olympics because it definitely does. There were plenty of athletes that have recounted different stories, but in my opinion, and looking at the evidence, this is like a bigger thing, and they basically have set up and paved the road to where they can just cheat forever. Like they have it's like they have a doping ring or something. Like it's like the new drug.
Well, that's why you don't see a lot of black people in the Winter Olympics. All the great athletes, we don't want to play that crap. What the heck is that broom? What is that? What the heck is that? What is that broom gang? Google it. What is it?
Man, Tony, you know what that is?
When they sweeping the broom? Losers. He's on mute. Look it up.
It's not shuffleboard. It's dang. I want to just know. Winter broom events.
Why can't I remember that? Oh, my bad.
Curling.
Yeah, come on, man. Let me get you on there. You ain't gonna get no black. Can you imagine a 7-foot dude? Come on, man.
Man, but here's the thing. We out of it because we're not. Neither of us are even watching. Like I haven't watched a lick of the Winter Olympics, partially because partially I don't care, but the other part is I'm like, I don't really want to support that aspect of Chinese media. It's kind of like a slap in our face that this country that ended up unleashing this virus across the world, and they hid it and lied and stuff like that. They get to host the Olympics.
So what was that game called again?
Curling.
Man, we do curling in the kitchen. You're telling your kids to sweep, smack them in the hips. But for that, I'm not going to watch something where you sweeping. What is this? Can you imagine LeBron James playing that? 7 foot like.
I did hear that the Jamaican bobsled team is back.
You look like you froze a little bit. You said the Jamaican bobsled team.
I
mean, I watched that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the speed and I think that's pretty cool. But that curling game, come on, man, come on, really? You working all? Can you imagine? You married. You be like, yeah, I got to spend. I'm trying to get to the Olympics, and they're like, for what? I want to curl. Like, really?
Well, I heard, Tony, you're a pretty good curler, right?
Nah.
I can't see. So I wonder if you got to be like, horses. When the people who ride horses, they're like 4'3", Do you have to be small to do that? Like when you curling, like look, I think black people would do very well in curling because we usually got beat if we didn't sweep. So we try to sweep fast. Like,
Don't sweep it under the baseboard or else.
Right.
they wake you up in the middle of the night if you ain't clean them chores. Ooh, the mamas in the 90s, boy. Ooh.
Bruh.
You ever
became-
had the middle of the night the dishes?
I became that parent in the 2020s.
Oh, so your kid's gonna be curling. Might as well do something good because that's all I do.
Hey, gotta play some type of sport. I don't care what it is.
But yeah, do you, Tony? Do you watch winter sports?
Nah, not really. The only thing that really excites me is the speed skating. I think that's dope. How they stay like the team. It's like 4 of them. They gotta skate all together. I think that's pretty dope. How they coordinate it. Man,
you know what's doper than that? They should put this in the Olympics. Let's go. Let's go. They need to put cascade skating. Friday night skating in the daggone Olympics. We'll win every time, baby. Let's go.
Be cold. She belongs to the street.
Maybe something. Ain't it better than that? Maybe
Hey.
maybe on point. Like
You right about that?
You see that old dude? He's a pastor.
Yeah, that's why I got my skates for Christmas.
Oh, man, he be killing it. He got his little beard and stuff. He be like,
Hey, we might have to put. Did you see that? Chad?
I like
I was
that
trying
with
to say-
Usher.
Oh! Did you see him in the concert?
Yeah.
Whoa! I was like, that's incredible. Because I would have fell off that stage and busted my everything. And
He was killing it.
he stopped right there on the side, like, look. Let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you a true story. I can't skate, right? When I used to go skating back in 20 years ago, I didn't know people prepared for this. I just went. You know what I'm saying? They said there was a
Facts.
party, and I just went. And I realized, like, how is these people my age can skate? I don't get it. So I try to skate, and I'm just running into the concession stands, like, ooh, you know, you know what I'm saying? So on my list of things to do, I saw them skating. I saw the pastor skating. I said, if this old man can do it, I know I can do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, LeBron.
So I
You're gonna
got
break a hip.
So I bought some custom skates, right? They're nice. I should go get them.
Hey, people over 40 don't need to be trying no new things, man.
You're the third person that told me this. Okay. So I get these skates, right? And I'm like, ooh, so I'm looking at YouTube. You know what you do when I'm looking at YouTube. I'm like adjusting them. I'm thinking I'm doing well. So I start doing little practices they doing. So I'm in my garage. Nobody in there. Man, so first 2 days went well. I'm going back and forth. I'm learning, going up and down. Man, that third day I got comfortable. Woo! I was like, damn. I was like, oh, I felt my back too, like a turtle. Man, I ain't touched them skates since. I'm gonna get back on them, but I ain't know how hard it was. Man, you know how to skate, Tom?
Hell no, not that good. I mean, I can go forward.
Yeah.
But all that backward stuff and staying in sync, that ain't me. I might be that guy right with you. As soon as you take an L, I'm gonna be right behind you.
oh, the worst is when you can't skate and you be about to fall and there be someone coming behind you.
Oh man.
Either you be thinking like, no.
What about the ice skaters? That's why I be scared when I be watching it. I'm like, how they just jump over their head with that blade, bro?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Or I'm thinking like somebody gonna hit the jugular or something. Like they're good, man. They're good at skating, man. Steve Nash can skate, and like that.
Really,
hockey's very impressive, man. It's very impressive. Like if you ever go to a game, the things they could do with the skates and the stick, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
You talking about the Brooklyn Nets, too?
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He's from Canada. You know how they get down.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good segue. Wanted to talk a little bit about New York real quick now.
Look at him all professional. Go ahead.
New York and Canada, for those who may not have seen, Justin Trudeau had branded the Freedom Truckers as terrorists, but before even talking about that, I wanted to show you guys this and get y'all's opinion on this. Give me 1 second. Just put that tab right there. This is an attorney, Trisha Lindsay. She's a New York civil rights attorney. Just make this big.
Again. We are at war. We are at war for our family, our children, our lives. The 14th Amendment gives us due process. It guarantees us equal protection under the law. So why in the world are the unvaccinated being treated differently than the vaccinated? It is the new segregation. It is the new discrimination. And we have to stop it.
Isn't it nice when someone's there to make sure you get all you deserve? That's the kind of help you get with H&R Block.
Looks like you're getting about $2,200.
Government for the people, by the people, will not be destroyed. We have to recognize our power. We are magistrates. What is happening here today, what is happening around our state and in our city, is people are invoking the doctrine of the lesser magistrates. And most of you probably don't even understand what that is and don't even understand what I'm talking about. Well, the doctrine of the lesser magistrates is the doctrine upon which this country was founded. It is the basis of the 10th Amendment, which says that any authority that is not given to the federal government is reserved to the states. And if our local leaders fail to protect its citizens and fails to step between a tyrannical federal government and its citizens, fails to protect the rights of its citizens, then those rights and authority is extended and given to the people. We, the people, is how the Constitution starts. A magistrate is a person that operates under authority. They have power. There are higher magistrates and there are lesser magistrates. The founding fathers of this country understood that there's going to come a point in time where the federal government will need to be checked. If not, they will become tyrants. And that is what's happening now.
Whoa.
Wow.
Man, go ahead.
Now, is she for the vaccinated or the unvaccinated, or is she saying both?
She's for against the mandates.
Okay. That's
Man.
what I thought. I just wanted to check before I gave my opinion.
Okay.
So just some background, and this is going to relate to the stuff up in Canada. There are a lot of people who might be, for the vacation, but they're against the mandates, forcing. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts as far as the mandate, I think anything that is put into laws, Black people get the brunt of it. They use it to the full extent on us. And I just think that if these mandates come down and we don't have, quote unquote, our papers, it's just another way of mass incarcerating us. So I don't like the mandate. I think it should be a choice. We already see the statistics of having vaccinated people and the unvaccinated people. They're saying that unvaccinated, when you get the COVID, it's more extreme than when you do have the vaccination. But you still can live. So I think it should be a choice. I agree with what she's talking about. She put it very eloquently as far as like how she articulated. So yeah, I agree. What do y'all think?
Go ahead, William.
I got a lot of thoughts on it, but so the thing is that these governments, once you give them the power, it's always hard to get that power back. If anyone remembers on Star Wars, I'm a geek. The senator Palpatine, he wanted the emergency power, and next thing you know, he's the galactic emperor, of everything. It's all because of emergency power. They never want to give that back. So what's going on today with Justin Trudeau? He actually invoked like an emergency act, basically martial law, and it's about to, possibly get ugly, up there. But the reason why it should concern us is because we are seeing the possible future of what's going to happen in America.
Well, I think anytime you mess with white people's pockets, the power shifts. If the truckers can't get the goods here, we're seeing this going on with the. You go to any store, there's empty rows of lack of food. You know what I mean? We have inflation going on, and people lost their jobs, and the people are realizing that Joe Biden lied. You know what I mean? To get his way, because we used to play videos where him and Nancy Pelosi verbatim said they couldn't find out who had didn't take the shot because that's a HIPAA law, and they said they couldn't do that. So what they did was they scared the people because they know people are scared. We're living 54% of Americans are living check to check, and they need their job, right? So what they did was, which is evil, this guy, that he basically said we're going to mandate it, knowing that he couldn't do it, and it was going to go to court, and they was going to say it was unconstitutional. So for 3-4 months, a lot of people got fired trying to stick to their guns, and a lot of them was African Americans, and a lot of them was women. A lot of people voted for him. So right now, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're trying to fix things because we have this election coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're trying to make it. That's why you don't see any coverage with the shooting that happened in Minnesota. If this was Trump, they would be all over the news that this young kid gets shot in a house where he didn't even live, and you should be able to have a gun in your house. You know what I'm saying? So they're keeping that on the hush. They're keeping all this stuff on the hush. Like, and it's a shame on the media. You know what I'm saying? But they're keeping all this stuff on the hush because they're trying to keep this power. They don't care about people. But I think if you keep messing with people's pockets, they're going to go the opposite direction. It happened with Bush. When Bush was in there and people start losing money, and we had the worst what's the word I'm looking for? I keep wanting to think recovery, but it was not a recovery, but we had a recession. We had a serious recession where people lost their jobs, they lost their 401ks, and everybody went to vote for the next guy in a different party because there's like if you're doing this bad and this party's doing this bad, we're gonna go a different direction. Yeah. And it happens all the time. It happened with Carter in the 70s when everybody voted for Reagan. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were going through the same thing they're going through now. No, they couldn't get jobs. Black people was strung out on drugs because they put the drugs in the neighborhoods, and that's a whole different story. We was talking about that the other day with the Contra War with Reagan era. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes a different way than when Reagan and Bush got in, and they voted for Clinton because they were like, we got to get something new. So this is nothing new. His numbers are down, which I'm happy with the Democrats. They're like, wow, they're not happy with what he's doing. You have like they're pretty much built like a king right now. They got 3 branches of government, and they ain't doing nothing for African Americans, and I love it because even Bill Maher is public enemy number 1, and he's the biggest fan. Him and Whoopi, I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's. Go ahead, Tony.
I think it's real weird. We still got those ships that's still out there on the ocean and stuff. So we're not getting our goods in from that point of view. Our goods ain't coming in from Canada. We don't have a great relationship with, Mexico. We just had a trucker that got almost 100 years, in the States. Remember that? And then they had, because he had killed somebody.
I see that.
But y'all didn't hear about that? And then they rolled back his time because I think it was in, what was it? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was in Colorado, but one of your listeners can check me on that. But they tried to give him like 100 years and they rolled it back. I think he's getting like 10 years now because he killed somebody. He was going too fast. So the truckers, they're upset around the country. They boycotted that city.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then we don't have good relations with China, really. I mean, it's like we're isolating ourselves, and we need somebody to come in here and just open this stuff up, man, because eventually it's going to hit everybody's pockets. It's going,
Yeah.
you know, what you're saying is might be correct. Like, Biden better do something, or he's going to be another one president, for one term as well. So we're going to see what he can do. But I think in about a year, definitely like in a year and a half, that they're going to calm all of this stuff down. They're going to say everything is good now. They're going to open everything up, and he's going to look like a savior. But
And
I think it's going to
also,
be too little, too late.
you're right. And also, what they're trying to do, because they know Black African Americans are, we're emotional people, and symbolism is big in our
Facts.
thing. Yeah. So they're sitting there trying to get a Black judge in there to shut you up.
Man, I don't even want to talk about that. You talking about the Supreme Court?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Look at their siblings. That right there just shows you another Kamala. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to get on that.
Yeah. So you got
Just call
that
me
going
Tony.
on. Man, yeah, that situation, and then they just put symbolism. They don't care about our agenda. They like that's the problem. Like Tony was talking about earlier. Anytime you have a Black issue, they lump it in one group, and then you get the back end of the group. You know what I mean? Everybody passing you up. It's been going on since the beginning of time. When we were supposed to get our just due in the early 1900s, all these other immigrants came in here and took our spot. You know what I mean? The jails became prevalent when they let us off, let us free. Once we became free, they put the jails in place. They was like, all right, we see them in the street, we're gonna lock them up. This is 1860s, and so you put the jails in around 1860s, and then you did the Jim Crow law. It's like, wow. Like, how much can the brother take? We got to be like, we always have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody else can mess up and say, "Oh man," cry like the Karens.
Funny thing is, then they'll say it wasn't us.
Yeah,
but it really was them.
And shame on the Republicans, man. Shame on the Republicans, because I'm always honest on here. I am not a Democrat, but I'm not a Republican at this point. I am conservative, right? But shame on those people, because you can't, like, they agree with you, but they want to say their evil values, because they don't like Black people in general. So you can't talk to them. They're like, yeah, that Nick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just being honest. Shame on you. Shame on the other Democrats who feel like that you have to be on one party or you're a coon. You know what I'm saying? We should be focused on policies now. What are you doing for the people? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I respect Ice Cube for what he did.
Yeah.
Because he was like, no, stop. Think about it. And let them give you something first.
Yeah.
Because right now, even with the you're in Atlanta, Tony, that you may disagree with what I'm saying, but you think they really want to push in that voters law for Black people? No. They trying to get the immigrants to vote. They don't care about your vote. You, like, most Black people got an ID anyway. Like, we did a poll last week. Everybody we know got a that's Black got an ID.
I still have.
I agree with it. I'm sorry, Will. What you say?
It's like, I asked people to bring up this argument. I had this one guy. He was talking about, it took me two weeks to get it because I didn't have a social security number and a birth certificate. I'm like, dude, you're 50 years old.
Damn. What he been doing?
They should have drove him to the mental health part. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You want to get your little, what you call it, switcher sweets? I don't smoke. Don't you need ID?
Yeah.
Don't you need, like, would you get these little tops you rolling it? Don't you need ID to get that?
No, but you're absolutely right. I mean, I've been telling people that too. It's just, this is for the immigrants, for them to vote.
If you don't have an ID, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. I'm just joking, but yeah. Go get your ID. Good.
it's not that hard. If you know someone, if you're watching this right now, you know someone that don't get an ID, take them to get an ID. Help your neighbor.
I'm telling you.
I mean, my goodness.
Like if you know this old lady need a ride to go vote, pick her up.
Yeah.
Unless she smell like mothballs, then I feel you.
Nah, swing her and get her ID first, because if they out here 50 years old and got their ID, then God damn.
That's a lie, man. Because you get a check on the 3rd, bro. If you don't got an ID, it's a lie. Because everybody, you get your stamps. I'm talking about poor people. I ain't talking about everybody else. Because if you work and you got a job, you got to get ID.
You got to get ID.
Got to. If you got a job since you're 16, they
got to get
ID social. You know?
I mean, if you want government assistance, you got to have ID. Yep. I mean, shit. That's why, I was brought to the light on that about a certain somebody. His name start with a J, and last name start with an L. So it changed my mind, and I'm the type of person that if I'm wrong, I'll tell you, and it changed my perspective. And just seeing what's going on right now, especially what's been going on. I listen to a lot of internet, and I listen to a lot of black media, and it'd be the people that you think that might think like you, they don't, and we just shooting ourselves in the foot. When it comes down to the way we think we should be moving, and sometimes it's just it's not gonna go down that way. A lot of times, let me put it that way. So I full-heartedly agree. When it comes down to this voting race, it's about the immigrants. We flying in like 1 million of them from Afghanistan. They want them to vote, and who you think they're gonna be voting? Riding with, because these are the people that brought them over here. Yep. So those are more people, 1 million people that's gonna be undermining black people. So hey, it is what it is, man.
Yep. And real quick, remember what Malcolm X said? Let's play this quick video.
Baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities, and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
60 years later, man, you think he just said that yesterday?
Still people ignoring it, and they still put those figures up there. And that's why I said shame on people like LeBron James. A lot of people say I hate on LeBron, which I am the #1 hater. Check out Jersey Sports Nation. To hear more hate, go on there. But I used to really like him, man. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like him because I don't know him, but I didn't like the fact that you're pushing this party like that. Instead of getting those intangibles that Tariq Nasheed and all them always talk about.
Heck yeah.
I'm like, wow, like you got yours, man. Why are you doing this? Like, if you're not going to get anything, you want to put the hatred on the other side, and I'm just like, well, we should get things for us only. Just like the agents got their agent crime bill. How the heck that happened?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? How did that happen? How did the gays get set up? The LGBT, how did they just get set up like that and we didn't? Just because they gave you money? I'm just really confused.
Yeah.
Because and I'm people know that I feel like we should be able to get ourselves out of it, certain things, but there's some stuff I just can't defend. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things like you should have been setting us up. Like in 1965, there was a Moynihan report where the guy was going to set up black men because if you set up a black man, it's going to trickle down. You set up the black woman, it's a fight. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm gonna set up the kids and the white, and you do it. You do your own thing. And black men is the most hated people on earth since it could be the beginning of time. If you say, you know what I mean. So that's my problem about that, man. It's like
that started out from racist, ways of thinking, but it's developed into Marxism, and along the way, and the way to kind of weaken the people, you got to remove those men out the way.
Yeah.
You can't have them strong men. You can't have strong families. Any of that. So if you can weaken the family unit, then you can pretty much just control people however you pretty much want.
They don't want another bus boycott.
That's the thing. That's what I'm waiting on. Like, we need. When are we going to do this? And then right now, we was talking about the metaverse last week. Like they're like, we're pretty much cyborgs right now because we got our phones. Like, our phones get everything to us. Like, we're cyborg, and they're creating this metasphere, and we're getting so dependent. Like we're addicted to social media from TikToks, and they know this, and we're getting further and further deep into this world where it's like, we don't understand reality, and I think part of them shutting us down was, because we're adapting to. I'll give you an example. If you give somebody something too long, I heard Floyd Mayweather talking about this. He said he had to stop giving his kids stuff because he said they're getting too dependent. Every time they need something, they're coming to him, and he's like, "No, either you're going to work for me at one of my businesses, or you're going to have to take one of come up with a business plan, because if we keep making these people dependent, that's good for the king." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard, because what are you doing this for? You're doing this for your kids, but you do want your kids to know what hard work is about, because you don't want that wealth to be taken. Right. So that's
a good point. I gotta think of that. Let me write that down. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, I mean, this system ain't set up for us. So if he don't, have his kids mentally, it ain't like we're not like the Hiltons and even the Trumps, where they don't have to do nothing. They know their money's just gonna still just come running to them. You know what I mean? Because there's not a system in place where any turn of the corner, that money can get snatched away. If you're not smart about it. So yeah, man, I'm right with you.
I didn't hear that. This is what people he said. He said, if you don't prepare your kids, the wealth will be snatched away from them. Man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep.
That's why you hear. I know that at least for the older Trump kids, I don't know about the younger ones, but the older ones, that's why they had to, go and work, in the company and things like that. Of course, they didn't, start from the bottom, but they were never just like, given the reins, because they would end up ruining that company.
Yeah.
Right. I think somebody was running the company when he was when he's the president. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And Shaq said the same thing, and a lot of people got mad. It's funny when people try to like pocket watching and trying to tell you what to do with your money, but Shaq said that they got to come up with a business plan. That's the smartest thing you can do, man, because like the by third generation, that money gone if you can make it there, to the third, because you create weak people. So that is key, man, and no one's talking about this reparation thing. We all know if you have an animal in captivity, not saying we're animals, they can't put them in the wild because they will die because they lost those instincts that they had when they were there. You know what I mean? It's the same way what's going on now. This world got so dependent on the government that when it shut down, we were scared, and it wasn't. There's some people who were resilient. There's some people getting that bag right now, but a lot of them cannot or will not try.
Yeah.
And they'll just vote for it. Like, well, you said you was gonna give me this.
Yeah.
And what I don't like about the government right now is that they're rewarding bad behavior and not rewarding good. Why wouldn't you reward someone who's going to marry somebody, and they may not have a lot of money? Reward them with the food stamps, and reward them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're home with their house, but you're gonna reward bad behavior. You got people in the VA who limping in there, coming in there with the crutches, and when they come out after they got their benefits, they throw their crutches in the back, hit the doot doot, and drive off.
You want to know who they going to reward? They're going to reward them snitches.
Oh man,
if
the Takashis out there.
If it ever gets to that point where they be like who got COVID?
Let me tell you something, Will. Let me tell you something, right? if we ever did a crime together and they caught me first, I'm gonna say, Will, he over there by the car, pull him out of there, man. We caught.
Mm-hmm.
I'm snitching.
Yep. When
I
it's
ain't built
me and
like
you,
that.
hey, when it's me and you, Josie, just say Tony right over there.
Tony, pretty Tony, what they call me.
They call him.
I'm
Pretty
taking
Vicky.
this conversation here.
But on that note, I gotta go. It's been great, guys.
I
Thank
appreciate
y'all
you.
for letting me come in. Y'all doing great work, man. Keep it going. I love it. You know, I do watch it all the time when I have a chance. So keep it moving, keep it pushing. I love that two black men out here just doing their thing and speaking their mind. And thank you for letting me on your platform. I really do appreciate it, man. Thank you for everything.
I appreciate it. I want to tell you something before you go. I'm not black. I'm OJ. Peace. So, all right, man.
I know that's right.
Thanks, Tony.
Oh
Wow.
man, that was a fun segment, man. Real quick, let's play our little sponsor, man. Definitely support us. Check out one of our sponsors, afjcworldwide.com. That is afjcworldwide.com for our latest apparel, homeware, and drinkware. Definitely get a shirt for your husband, wife, doesn't matter. Again, check out afjcworldwide.com. Oh man. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's an interesting thing, man, with that we're talking about with the truckers and I don't even know why they tried it, man. Like we are the people. We have the power. You work for us. You don't want us to know that though. You don't want us to know that that's what they gave us when they fought for this country. You know what I'm saying? And as long as they keep us divided, man, this remind me of the Civil War movie. When the guy, I forgot what the villain's name was, but he knew he could not beat Captain America and Iron Man by himself, so he made them fight against each other. And the whole time we are fighting against each other when we should be uniting and getting this country back. You typically when something goes wrong, like kind of like when George Floyd passed away. When George Floyd passed away, the Republicans and Democrats got together and they made some changes. Not far as the law's concerned, but they made sure that guy got to jail. You know what I'm saying? The guy who did it. You know.
And hey, guys, y'all better find a way to get y'all a copy of this or read it online or something. The founding fathers of our country, they weren't perfect, but those guys were geniuses.
Geniuses, man.
Like
who would have thought that? Like that last since what 1776? Like who would have? I mean, when was it? 1800s? When did they put the Constitution? 1776.
I don't know if it was 1776. I know that we had our declaration. But
well, either or. Just for it lasts like this long. People were getting out of jail, because they was wrongly accused of certain things because of the Constitution. People are getting justice in front of the Constitution. People don't know this, but Muhammad Ali, when he was going to go to jail for dodging the war, he got out because of the Constitution, because of religion. You know what I mean? Like the freedoms we get from this is amazing.
And just to put it out there, Declaration of Independence adopted July 4th, 1776, and Constitution was signed September 17th, 1787. So some good stuff there, and we're learning as a people. A lot of things we're just seen as normal, but we end up evolving. Unfortunately, we know that slavery was going on. It was an atrocity. They were aware of it, obviously. Some of them, were for it. Some were against it. Some of them were able to say, it's kind of like if you were, like, I don't know, like you lie, but you could say like, look, lying is wrong, but we all lie. somewhere along the line. So not to justify it, but the fact that even though they knew that it was going on, they were able to pretty much say like it's wrong. Like that's one of the reasons that they wanted to break away from Great Britain was in slavery. Of course, they kowtowed to a couple of the states, I think Georgia and North Carolina, and took that out of the Declaration. But look at the history, guys; it's there.
Yeah. Just and we definitely need to know that, and also we got to have a stash of money for attorney's fees, man. Like that's important. You got to have a stash of money for attorney fees and medical fees. It's something that we can't get around, if you can. But it's really good if you have, what they say, in legal shield.
Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Nah, they say, a good attorney knows the law. A great attorney knows the judge.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's really on point, man. But I'm just it's a shame, man, because everybody is just so selfish, you
Mhm.
know. And if we start thinking about others, God says is to think about others, and like you think about yourself, and love God. You know what I'm saying? And if we do those things, but we're not, we have so much hatred. If someone do you wrong, you're just hating them, and we're just thinking about ourselves. I mean, I don't think we'll never see a united front, but it's something to talk about. I think people are waking up. At least this generation. We have to try to get the next generation. That's the problem. I don't know about the millennials, but I guess we could talk about the grandkids because we got to go around the millennials because they're already stuck in their ways right now.
What's rough because a lot of the older liberals they're out here looking like they're conservatives or something. That's how far left these progressives and stuff have got. Like they've gone so radical that the people that were the liberals are out here. They're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yep. Yep. Like Bill Maher for one. He's a Californian. I mean, he lives in California and all that, and he hated the ideas. But yeah, like you said, at least if we could get to the middle again, whoo, because it's a mess, man. What about the Super Bowl, man? Halftime? Did you I checked it out. If anybody who don't watch football, they had Dr. Dre performing, and he had Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, and 50 Cent. This was probably like one of the first times they actually had a hip hop show on a halftime.
Hmm.
And on social media, it was pretty much divided. The people who lived it, who the Generation X, they were loving it. They was like, "This is the best thing ever," But then the people who, the Rolling Stones guys, and the people who like the '80s, and what group am I talking about? The baby boomers and some Generation X that just don't like hip hop. They thought it was the worst thing they ever saw.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts on Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, I thought it was all right. Now I'm one. I guess I'm technically a millennial, like a first second year millennial. So I'm closer to Generation X. But I was there for all that stuff. But to me, it was just more like old people, going and performing. So that's how I kind of looked at it. But as far as
So you're saying it's like you're Rolling Stones. They were 70 years old performing,
right,
couldn't move.
yeah, because even when the Rolling Stones performed, it wasn't that great. Guys, be honest. Don't try to hype it up like that was the greatest thing when the Rolling Stones. No, it wasn't. They old.
Yeah,
You know what I
he
mean?
couldn't even move. He was about to break a hip. He's sitting there moving to the side like, man.
I was disappointed though, man. He started. He hit that. Dre hit that piano like. I was like, yeah, let's go.
I wonder how they would have did that. Like, put a drum, like a
The hologram.
hologram there in the middle of that field. That might have been tough.
They were I was over there telling everybody watch. I was like, that little section, on the bottom left, that's where they're going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
here, that's where it's going to be. He's going to be down there performing. Talk
You know,
about Tupac for those who don't know.
it's interesting because like people in the past tried to emulate or duplicate the guy that died, that passed away. Like, I remember NWA had Eazy-E's son perform for his parts. He looks like just like him. It's just too bad Tupac didn't have any kids, to push on his legacy. But for me, it wasn't better than Beyonce's concert, and I'm not a Beyonce fan. I thought Beyonce did a really good job. I think Prince's performance was good. U2 for the people, that was pretty good.
Prince's performance wasn't good. It was
yeah, right. It was great. It was great. Let me stop being modest. It was an amazing performance. Michael Jackson. For the people who don't know the origin of the Super Bowl concert, the reason why they have these big concerts is because of not Damon Wayans, Keenan Ivan Wayans. Because at that time, the Living Color was running everything, and he was just a goof troop, right? He would just try things. Like he would do stuff where the white the right people who would stop, if it was bad, and bleep it out, they wouldn't know what they were talking about. He would try. His whole job was to do something that was bad, but try to hide it from them. That's why he ain't last long. It was only 3 years, and they got him out of there once they realized what he was doing. But what he did was, he got all the Super Bowl traffic to his channel because he did something during that halftime show. He said, we're going to do a Living Color show. So everybody turned the channel off and went to his channel. And then the next year they get Michael Jackson. What? The next year they was like, you're not turning the channel anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Man.
Because they had Simpsons. I remember Simpsons used to do a show too. And then they had Living Color. And during the halftime show, and everybody turned that show TV off to change it. And then the next time they had Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson did his thing, man, on that show. He did Heal the World. He had all them kids out there. He probably had Macaulay Culkin.
Man.
And then next year, he goes to court for being around them kids. But that was good. Diana Ross in 1996 was decent. But I wouldn't put this as the best. Like you said, a bunch of old people rapping. I mean, the songs was fine. Nobody messed up. Eminem didn't. He had better songs than that. Why didn't you sing that? He could have tore it up. Now I did like Kendrick Lamar's performance. That was dope. I didn't like I didn't like all them Crips sitting there like you. I felt like I was in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the suits, the khaki suit, the Dickie suits. See walking. Then the dude got a whole Crip. I was like, I know y'all like it, but I was never a West Coast fan anyway. Like
I didn't like it, but I mean I understand. I mean
it was L.A. They were in Inglewood.
Into their
but come on, bro. Like really? I mean, Dr. Dre always do this, man. He always like push the envelope, man. Even when he was with the Wrecking Crew, he was wearing the female clothes and the makeup and stuff like that. Everybody, Eazy-E called him a she thing on that song. He said he's like Eazy-E. What did he say? I forgot he said it, but and then NWA. Like I don't see nothing positive that came from NWA. Everybody wants to say that was the culture, and they were like being reporters. No. I heard the record the other day. They wasn't talking about the how like you talking about what third person or something or no. They were saying I will shoot you. They didn't say there's shots fired in Compton and we what I'm saying, like trying to give us the story like a Nas would. No. They was like I will kill you. Da-da-da-da-da.
I think the parody kind of matched pretty much what was going on. See, remember CB4?
Yeah.
And they were parodying yeah, NWA, but it was like that parody was it was so hitting so close to real, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. The Bible talks about it, the power of words. You know, um, anytime we think it's acting, right? When they go do a concert, that's where they try to test the rappers to see if they're really about that life. It's not like a movie. You're never gonna see somebody walk up to Denzel and say, "You really that dude?" On Train Today.
Mm.
They'll never do that. But when it comes to music, they want to test you and see if you're like that. So that's why they show up to your show. They don't show up to the premieres. Ti, when Ti and Nelly try to defend the fact that y'all said Nick the N word for 20 years, you made millions of dollars, and you're trying to justify the N word, and then Ti just admitted, people will allow you to say the N word if they get a check from it. Clear example of NDIRE. NDIRE talking about boycott. You don't even know what's going on. You just want to get paid. Take your broke B-list singer and go somewhere and take your acoustics and go sing in McDonald's or something, or like one of them cafes, because you're not big.
I can't believe she actually said it right on that first video. Towards the end, she starts off saying, and I can't help but this door to Joe Rogan opened and blah 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 and the N-word and stuff like that. And then by the end, she's like, I don't have a problem, with him per se, but it's about the money. I'm like, wow.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, nobody want to hear this, but African Americans will sell you out in a minute. Or Africans for real. Like, we talk about Africans, like slavery. Look it up. Those people were selling slaves for guns. They were selling slaves for guns. So go ahead and fact check. You could add it onto it if you want to, but that's the problem, man. That's why things is not going to get stopped. It's not going to stop. Like, what fight are you going to fight? You know what I mean? Like, are you really caring about this? If you really cared about it, then you should boycott. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg for having a date rape song. What's that one? Ain't fun if the homies can't have none. We sitting there dancing through it. You know what I'm saying? You got Rick Ross singing songs about Molly. Remember that one?
Yep.
You got so it's okay. It's okay if you could dance to it and you're saying they're not serious. But when you go to a festival, it's 99% white people there, and they're singing the song and they're like putting the mic out to the crowd singing these lyrics. They don't care. They just got $100,000 check.
And it says something about the emotional aspect of our people. You remember, I think it was Busy Bone or one of them, but they were talking about how a lot of this was actually set up purposely by executives, and they knew that it was going to end up affecting the Black community. And
they're always one step ahead of us.
Yeah, so it's kind of like everybody wants to participate in this music, but only certain people try to do what they're talking about.
Right. A lot of them people be talking like they're English when they're away from the mic, like Little John. Little John, like, yeah, that dude, so educated. People like, pass the poupon. Like he's not this person, but he started all these
elbow or something.
Yeah, like he started all these fights in these clubs with this tear the club up stuff, but he don't even go to the club. Like, what I'm saying? Great music, But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing here? What fight are you going to fight? I believe in the First Amendment. I believe you can say what you want. Wouldn't you want somebody to say what they want so you know who you're dealing with instead of lying to you? It's your choice if you want to deal with them or not. In my opinion, we should be able to say what we want. You can change the channel. You can mute them, and if they try something with you, you got the Second Amendment. Isn't that a great? Isn't that amazing?
Nation, the best one ever.
And so, but back to the Super Bowl. It was okay. I wasn't super excited like everybody else was. I listen to rap myself. But I just didn't see. I didn't see this being like if we gonna rank them, I wouldn't even put it in the top 10.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. Now, Mary. We want you, Mary, to stick to the Mary moves. Don't try to do the Beyonce moves, Mary.
And she don't have any friends.
Oh man.
When they say go Mary, I think they making fun of her when she be this. Go Mary.
I was like, is she gonna be able to get back up?
And you 50 years old with that leotard on.
Mm.
Did you what you think about her outfit? I think she had the fur coat on, the high boots, and the little leotard. I guess it's good for performing, I guess. You know, you need to be different.
Yeah.
Keep eyes on you.
That's my only, complaint. Like don't try to do all these different moves and stuff. Mary always been to that basic,
Yeah.
the steering wheel move.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he trying to get low and come back up? Now, 50 Cent. Now it was real big. He went viral because noticeably he gained some weight. My thing was like, okay, it was funny. I actually posted on my social media, but we gonna fat shame him and not Lizzo?
Mm.
Everybody saying leave her alone.
Double standard,
Man. Like why can't 50 Cent get a break? He's been working out, eating, drinking shakes for 20 years. He can't eat a burger now?
man.
Like he can't get a milkshake? You know what I'm saying? Like, can he live his life?
Man.
He gonna bounce back because I don't think he liked being talked to like that.
Right.
Because he used to be fat before.
But
People don't notice.
The way that 50 Cent think, he probably pull up with an endorsement. I bet you one of the companies is gonna end up
Yep.
while I'm sponsoring him. He gonna make money out of y'all fat shaming him.
Yep. Yeah, but man, let the brother live, man. Can he eat a burger? Can he he been for 20 years he been eating vegetables and not drinking? Can he enjoy some of that money he got? That's all I'm saying. But they shouldn't have ever had him upside down. His face was looking extra fat. They should have who called that? Like, yo, I think you should do what you did 20 years ago, hang from the top and then rap on it. He couldn't even breathe. You're shorty. But anyway, oh man, somebody put a post out. I reposted it. They was like, all these people talk about him, and he was like, when that song came out, you got bigger then too, but you want to talk about him? I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely. I was looking at my 3 gun permits, and I was looking at the weight on each of them. I was like, oh, wow.
Man, well, we looking at mirror. I'm like 20. I carried it. How much weight I lost? I mean, did I gain? I'm like carried a 1. Yeah, I can't talk about it. Yeah. Ooh, but it was all right, man. I mean, like I said, a lot of people enjoyed it. They said it was the best thing they ever heard. Or, I think it was more.
A lot of people, they wanted to see hip hop. So, since they got a little bit of something, then they glorified it as like the best thing ever, and so on.
Yeah, we're a prisoner of the moment, and a lot of people got a chance to live. There's something about programming. Programming costs a lot of money, but when you program somebody, they're stuck on you forever. I was watching something earlier, and they were saying if you wanted to get your song on the radio continuously, you got to pay $200,000, and that's why if you notice, and 10 songs in that hour in the commercials, they're playing the same songs because they're trying to program us.
Yeah. One of my I'm gonna see if I could get him on one day. He was actually a local radio DJ here, but he went to go work with No Limit for a little while.
Wow.
As a promoter, and he was talking about how that's what was going on. You have to pay to play pretty much, and that's he was breaking down that industry. I'm gonna see if he'll come on under his name or as a pseudo name, as we see that people like to do a lot. But it's definitely I didn't know that, because I'm sitting there like, man, how come every second I'm hearing it's just like honey, like over and over.
Right. And you don't even like you won't even like the song when you first hear it, and then after they program you, you singing the song in the car, you like it. Like I can name so many songs like that. Um, you ever heard it? I mean, you probably didn't, but it's like this TikTok that's going around, and they're like, I've never been with a buddy. I don't even know what song it is, but I keep hearing it, and I'm like, this is the stupid line in the world. And now I'm like, my wife and I like, never been with a buddy. We saying, man. I remember my father. I ain't gonna. Well, I said my father-in-law was it was a time when that one song Duffel Bag Boy was out with 2 Chainz and Little Wayne, and he don't even know what that is, but he kept on hearing it, so he just walking around the house like Duffel Bag Boy, Duffel Bag Boy. And they're like, you know what you're saying, right? It's like what? What do you?
Get
But
mine.
yeah, but it's like we live the moment with these songs, and that's the powerful thing about music. You live a moment and you remember where you were when you heard these songs, and just to you're 20 years removed from your childhood, your youth, and then you're hearing it again, and you want your kids to experience the feeling that you had. You're excited about it because you was like when I was reading the threads on people's page, there was like, man, I used to be in a club listening to this, and so that's what it was about. It was basically about gave you that feeling back, because I think you said it to me like people don't care what you do, is like how they make you feel. So
Right.
these songs made people feel good, and that's why I think they put it on the top of the list, because these other songs they don't know, like they didn't listen to YouTube, they ain't listening to Rolling Stones, and so that's what it's
Yeah.
about.
But definitely it's a change. I'm interested to see what ends up happening next year. I will say this: if I see Arizona Cardinals in the Super Bowl and they win, I'm done with the NFL. That's what the Super Bowl is. I'm like, hold on, there's a trend here. The team they get a home game, and I'm like, this is a scam.
Yeah. Now they made it. It's really popular to gamble now too. Like there's a lot more apps, so the fix is in. I agree. We're gonna end it on that. you know, um, yeah. But so definitely, if you like what you heard, come next week. We're gonna have another dynamic show. If you're supporting us, hit that like button. Also hit our Cash App. We'll pull the Cash App out so they can see it on the screen.
Yep.
Right there, donate. TNJ Radio. If you support the show, if you like what we're doing, you can tell us all day. We want to see them comments popping too, but the way you show us is through your wallet. Definitely support the channel, and we appreciate the people who are supporting and giving us info. If you want to get on the show, definitely hit us in the comments. Hit us in the email. Do we got the email set up? I don't know if we do, but hit us on the email.
Real TNJ
Okay.
at gmail.com.
Say it again.
Real, just like the real, REAL, TNJ at gmail.com.
And also, like, if you want us to touch on a topic or something, or if you want us to try to get a guest on there, definitely hit us up on the email as well. And we appreciate everyone. We love everybody who support us. Shout out to Swanee G and Marloco, who's always around as well. And shout out to Tony today. And we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.